29-22 on the road. And look who's got the baseball tonight. It's Kyle Freeland. He is 6th right now, Spilly, in the National League in ERA. Little footnote, only one time in Rockies history has a player, a pitcher, finished in the top 10 in ERA in the National League. That was Ubaldo Jimenez, 2.88 ERA back in 2010. As I said, he's sitting 6th.
It's incredible when you think about what Kyle Freeland and where he pitches. He pitches better at home than he does on the road. Those numbers are remarkable. Probably should have been an all-star given what he's been able to accomplish. I think as we're watching him over the last couple months develop, it's been a changeup for him. The changeup was a pitch last year. He only threw it about 5% of the time. It's up to 20% now. Why is that so important? Because it opens up both sides of the plate. Kyle's always been a guy very difficult to square up, somebody that limits hard contact, and everybody knows what type of competitor he is. For Kyle Freeland, this will be 9 days of rest since his last start. We'll see how strong he's feeling. Oftentimes we feel that strong, the ball will go through the sink, so we'll see how he feels.
Rockies trying to win their 7th consecutive game. They are in a great place offensively, defensively, and on the mound. It's Colorado, it's Arizona. Come on back to the desert with us. You won't see it for long. Game 2 of this 3-game set in the heat of the desert. We'll play indoor baseball in downtown Phoenix tonight. The roof naturally closed, more than 100 degrees outside, about 80 or so inside. Rockies a season-high 7 games above 500, and they're going to face off against Zach Godley. He's got a very good curveball, former Tennessee product, and he runs that fastball outside. The Rockies have not swung the bat well against Godley. They are due. Godley is 4-0 with a minuscule 2.03 ERA against the Rockies. And that pitch on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1.
Well, for Godley, he started off a bit slow, and it was for him, it was commanding fastball to set up the curveball. He got a little bit away from what makes him tick.
This ball line, but right at Paul Goldschmidt. So Charlie is retired, 1 out. Here's the Rockies Southwest batting order. With DJ out of there, you notice that Charlie led off. He's done that pretty well in the past, as I recall. Gerardo Parra slide up to the 2 spot. Nolan batting third. Cargo against the righty will bat cleanup. Trevor Story as hot as anybody the last couple of months. Ian Desmond. There's the kid, Garrett Hampson, out of Long Beach State. He'll make his debut batting seventh. Chris Iannetta, the former Diamondback, will bat eighth in front of Kyle Freeland. Parra last night came into the ball game on the latter side, and he had a couple of plate appearances. He walked in both of them, and both times that loaded the bases. Godley's one of those guys, Billy, kind of any pitch, any count, and he gets a lot of outs because players chase against him. That's their pretty good curveball we were talking about, 0-2.
When you look at his arsenal, pay attention to the curveball and his usage of it. 41%, 82 mile an hour. It's being hit at a clip of 198. That's pretty remarkable. And when you think of a pitcher, especially in this day and age, velocity being one of the key factors, when you have a pitcher that throws just primarily curveball.
Very unusual.
Very unusual.
You know, when you think back, you know, go back 30, 40 years, two names jump to mind, guys that had fantastic curveballs. I'll give you three guys. Nolan Ryan, people always talked about the Ryan Express, but it came off the fastball. Burt Blyleven, great curveball, but it came off the fastball. Doc Gooden, but you had to honor the fastball because they were mid to upper 90s guys, not Blyleven especially, but Ryan and Gooden. This ball back off of Godley, and he'll get the out at first. Let's take a look at the defensive alignment for Arizona. They right now lead baseball with a .990 fielding percentage. They're just slightly ahead of the Rockies. John J. A.J. Pollock. There's Pollock in the middle and Steven Souza in the outfield. Owings is in at third base because the Rockies are starting a lefty. So Jake Lamb, even though it's his bobblehead day, he's got to watch. And behind the plate is John Ryan Murphy, the former Yankee and Minnesota Twin. So here's Nolan. He has 25 home runs, 11 of which have come in the first inning. Last night, two-run shot in the first inning, and then he hit a two-run shot in the fifth inning. Oh, 1, and that's fouled off. 2 strikes. Built for Baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. Home run list for the Rockies. Helton way out in front at 369. Nolan is within 15 now of Troy Tulowitzki, his former teammate. To move into a tie for 6th on the Rockies all-time list. He moved ahead of the Big Cat yesterday. Cutter, and he went. So Godley, a 1-2-3 first inning. Kyle Freeland will be on that mound when we come back. 6 with a 3.11 ERA. Is ready to go as he completes his warm-up pitches. Billy told you a few moments ago he's well rested. That was by design. Buddy Black wanted to get his whole rotation, the better part of a week plus off, and Kyle Freeland's been off for 9 days.
It's a long time for starting pitchers, especially when you start getting into a good run. And for Kyle, I mentioned earlier, the changeup to me has been the biggest key for his development. Obviously, he's off to an all-star caliber season. And even though it says 15%, the last start for him, it was 20% against the Seattle Mariners. And we said, as we were watching it play out, that changeup will completely change the dynamic of what hitters have to respect when they're facing Kyle Freeland.
First pitch strike to John Jay. And here's the 0-1, and that is bounce foul. John Jay pinch hit and was the final out. He was caught looking against Adam Ottavino with the tying run at third base in the bottom of the 9th inning yesterday as the Rockies won 11-10. That was despite 14 hits by Arizona. In the air down the left field line, and Parra lays out. Had to go into that power slide so he didn't run into the wall. And Jay will get another opportunity. Here's the Southwest batting order tonight for Torey Lovullo. Ketel Marte drove in a career best 4 last night. Goldschmidt has struggled at home against the Rockies. More on that in a moment. A.J. Pollock 5 for 5. That tied a team record. The last guy to do it was his teammate David Peralta earlier this month. Steven Souza, Nick Ahmed, Chris Owings, John Ryan Murphy, and then Zach Godley. There's Goldschmidt talking to his skipper. And a fastball. See you later. John Jay is gone. 1 out. And that'll bring up Ketel Marte. The Rockies defensively will have Trevor Story working it short with Garrett Hampson. Hampson, a shortstop, second baseman, and he's run out in center field and done very well in Albuquerque. He's a baseball player, pure and simple. This guy loves to play. And talking to him, you and I chatted with him briefly in the clubhouse, and I talked to some other guys, and he does not seem to be. He's nervous. You got to be nervous. You kidding me?
Yeah, of course you are.
That's natural, but he does not seem to be overwhelmed. This ball lined to left, and Parra will cut it off. A base hit for Marte. He kind of picks up where he left off last night. He was a pain in the neck. 1 out, 1 on, and that'll bring up Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt, an all-star a few days ago for the 6th time, a new record for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And a good pitch, but it's not called a strike. Home plate umpire is Paul Nauert. He's the crew chief. Ramon De Jesus at first, Carlos Torres at second, and Scott Barry at third. That's a good looking pitch. 1-1. Goldschmidt 3 for 10 in his matchups with Kyle Freeland. A lot of fastballs early here from Freeland.
After 9 days, I've talked to a lot of starters that have had that much time off in between, and they always say they want, one of the first things they want to do is command fastball. They want to get a good feel for it. A lot of them feel really strong after that amount of time.
That's one of the more interesting leads off of first I've ever seen. Watch Marte here. A lot of Base running coaches will teach you to open up with that right foot. He is really wide open with it. This is fouled off. And he has his spikes like on a 45-degree angle already turned towards second.
I remember Scott Podsednik, who played for the White Sox and played with the Rockies. And was a great base stealer. Stole 40 bags with Milwaukee Brewers one time too. He loved to point his foot towards second base because he didn't want to take a false step.
Two and two, now 3-2 on Goldschmidt. Dave McKay over counseling Marte. See if they put him in motion. As tremendous a hitter as Goldschmidt is, he also leads the National League in strikeouts. Marte not going. Strike three. Frozen with a slider. 2 outs.
What a great pitch from Kyle. 3-2. Goldschmidt probably thinking that Kyle won't want to walk anybody. Probably not willing to throw a fastball. Just locks up Goldschmidt. It's the entire sequence throughout the at-bat. 1-0 fastball in, called for a strike. That opens up the plate for the outside portion.
Pollock raised his average over 300 with the 5-hit ball game yesterday. And he has good numbers against Freeland. 4 for 9, including a triple, and that's fouled off out of play.
You got like 4 batters into the game. You have 3 first pitch strikes.
A.J. Pollock, a Notre Dame product.
They're talking about Scott Podsednik, how he would point his toe towards second base. Cut him short with stolen bases. In 2004, he had 70 stolen bases.
Yeah, he was not only a great base runner, he could really run. I don't think you steal 70 if you can't run too. In the air to Cargo in right center. And a good start for Kyle Freeland. Gave up a 1-out hit to Marte. A couple of strikeouts in the first to boot. Baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by the 2018 Toyota Tundra in your hometown Toyota stores. By UC Health, live extraordinary. And by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Downtown Phoenix, Chase Field. We go to the top of the second. The Rockies will have 4, 5, and 6, led by Carlos Gonzalez. Kyle Freeland throws up a 0. He's been better than anybody else in the Rockies rotation at doing that, avoiding first inning runs. The Rockies, as you know, have struggled in that first inning, giving up 85 runs, a major league worst. But Kyle has a sub-3 ERA in the first. Changeups in there for a strike to Cargo. He's trying to turn his fortunes around against Zach Godley. He's faced him 7 times. He's 0 for 7 with 5 strikeouts, so he is due. And not this time. The bat head went farther than the baseball. It's into short right field.
For the Win is brought to you by Pizza Ranch. Throw him a curveball. Rockies have lost all 4 games against Zach Godley. Trying to figure him out. Mentioned the numbers on how good he has been against the Rockies. And looking at some of the starts for Godley early in the season, he had several where he walked 6 batters, he walked 4 in a game. The walks are in there for him. Walks per 9, well over 4, but for the last couple starts, it's only been a handful of walks. So if Rockies are looking to get on base, you're going to have to hit your way on. And that's going to be against a curveball.
Godley's been in a good place. Last 7, 6-1, a 3.89 ERA. Outside on Story, 3 for 12 against Godley. How about Trevor? 71 big league home runs in just 338 games. In the minor leagues, he had 71 home runs over 541 games. Just keeps getting better and better. 1-1. Story yesterday was 1 for 3 and a pair of walks. Trevor riding an 11-game hitting streak. Two outs. That'll bring up Ian Desmond.
First baseman, number 20, Ian Desmond.
Garrett Hampson on deck. Desi was one of the guys I talked to about, would you impart any words of wisdom to a kid making his debut? And he said something that I think is very prudent. And he would know because he's seen a lot of guys around him make their debuts. Just let them get a game or 2 under their belt. They're overwhelmed to begin with. You don't need 15 people in your ear. Other than the manager, of course. Buddy brought him in his office earlier in the day. It's the old Hoosiers line. He reminded him that the hoop's still 10 feet high. 60 feet 6 inches, 90 feet between the bags. Bottom of the zone, a strike, 1 and 2.
Godley has his good curveball going tonight. It's down in the zone. Late break, hard to pick up. And as a hitter, when you're facing a guy that's really good with the curveball and the way that he uses it, you have to look for a ball up. It's almost counterintuitive. You have to look above the belt.
This ball in the air to fairly deep right field. Going back to the track. Making the catch is Souza. But Desi got a pitch up. Just missed it. No score, middle of 2.
Hampson, a kid making his major league debut for the Colorado Rockies. He got called up from AAA Albuquerque at 12:30 this morning. AAA manager Glenn Allen Hill called him, and as he always does, he played a little prank on the new major leaguer.
He told me my car was getting broken into. I don't know how he came up with that or why he went there, but first of all, I have a truck, so I kind of knew something was up there. But yeah, he told me he likes to do that with all the guys, so it's pretty funny.
Always love those kinds of stories. I'm sure it's very enjoyable for Mr. Hill, as it is for the Hampson family. He had 8 tickets for friends and family left, so they're enjoying the game. I had the chance to catch up with them before, and as you can imagine, there's a lot of emotions, Drew.
Yeah, it's neat. His family is from Reno primarily. Here's the 0-2, and that's strike 3 on Steven Souza Jr. And he was in Albuquerque. The Isotopes were at home, so it worked out really well. I mean, Phoenix was about as convenient as it could get for family and for Garrett to get here. He had to go to embellish what Taylor passed along. So G. Hill, you know, plays the joke on him at 12:30. Then he had to go get up out of bed. He was almost asleep. Go to the Isotopes Park, get all his stuff, and he was pack everything up. He slept for a little bit more when he got back, and then went to the airport. Was on a 7 a.m. quick flight from Albuquerque to Phoenix. And then he got a nap, kind of a power nap this morning. Deep in the hole. Story, jump, throw, cut it out. What a play by Story. Nick Ahmed surely can appreciate that. He's the one who hit it, and he's got a pretty good glove at short. That is flat out robbery.
Just unbelievable, the type of athletes on the Rockies infield. Very few players make this. And he sets his feet, gets enough on it, completely having his body going away from first base. And we see this every single night. And this is the part that as athletes and as broadcasters, as fans, we see it every single night. We have to make sure you appreciate it, but it's become just, it's a day in, day out basis. It's ridiculous.
I follow you on Twitter because I love you and you're my partner.
Uh-huh.
Okay? You didn't say wow.
I know. Well, I'll say it backwards later.
Back up the middle. Here's the first opportunity for Hampson, and he makes a sparkling play.
Wow!
How about that infield defense? What'd you say, Spilly?
Wow! Frontwards and backwards.
That was special. Just let him put it in play. You're not going to get a base hit against that infield. Hampson making himself look a little like DJ LeMahieu there for his first chance. How about this? And he'll lead off next inning. Kyle Freeland, and when you get defense like you got from Story and Hampson, you're going to get to the dugout pretty quickly. That's amazing, that play. Great arm strength. Desi on the other end, And look at this play, very similar in the middle of the diamond for the Rockies' second baseman making his big league debut. And now he'll come up to bat for the first time. Curveball's down low. Hampson has bunt base hit in his game. There's his dad, Chris, capturing the moment. And a ground ball to short. Ahmed throws him out. One gone. He got that out of the way.
Now you go get a cup of water, grab a piece of gum, try to get some saliva back in your throat.
You remember that first at bat? Was the back leg shaking, Spilly?
There's no question. I mean, it's all the thoughts of all the coaches, all the friends and family along the way. The time you spent on a backfield when you were growing up as a kid with your pops, having your family drive you place to place. I mean, it all goes through your mind in an instant. You think back to your time at Long Beach State. You think to your teammates that are watching you play, keeping the updates going. There's a lot of people there.
Outside a ball and a strike. Look at everything he had to do in the middle of last night. I mean, G. Hill calls him, as Taylor said, around 12:30. That means he was waking folks up in the middle of the night. Because, sure, his fear was if I waited till first thing in the morning, everybody couldn't get there. 2-1 on Iannetta. Spilly, I would absolutely hate to face a guy like this, because I think as a player, you're throw me a fastball, right?
It reminds me so much of playing in Japan. It's an off-speed driven league with guys that have fastballs but love to command secondary pitches.
There's a show me fastball. He's an interesting kid, 28-year-old Godley. Sturdy, 6'3", about 240. Was a senior sign out of the University of Tennessee. His nickname in college was Bull. That's a hanger, and that ball's toward left center field, but it's going to hang in the air for A.J. Pollock, 2 outs. So he's retired the first 8 as Kyle Freeland will approach. Fans join in on the conversation tonight. Send us your thoughts, your questions, comments. Utilize Twitter and include the hashtag Toyota Talk. Freeland has a lot to live up to offensively. Last night, Herman Marcus, 2 at-bats, 2 singles, including an RBI hit in the 4th. There's strike 1. Herman's batting average now .361.
Come on.
With a homer and 5 driven in. There's Herman. And Godley with a strikeout, so he's perfect through 3 innings. Kyle Freeland's been awfully good as well. Middle of 3, no score.
We want to relive last night's catch from Charlie Blackmon in the bottom of the 9th inning. It came with first and third, 1 out. StatCast AI is powered by AWS. Unbelievable catch, 27 feet per second with the sprint speed, 37% catch probability. The game could have easily pivoted in the Diamondbacks' favor if it wasn't for this wonderful catch from Charlie. Otto was able to strike out. John Jay looking to end the game, but that was a fantastic play. When you start thinking about the way that it went up and down throughout the evening, yes, no gloves in that hole. Nice reference to the All-Star game with Charlie Blackmon while he was mic'd up.
It was potentially a game-saving catch.
It was.
So Kyle Freeland ready to go. 8-9-1 coming up for Arizona. John Ryan Murphy, the catcher, will be first. Couple years with the Yankees, year with Minnesota. He's a product of the IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. And sliders in there, part of the plate, strike one. Arizona, like the Rockies, carrying 3 catchers. On the ground to third, Nolan. Gets Murphy by a step. 1 out. One out. That'll bring up Zach Godley. So one of the things I read in his bio about Godley, he's an avid bass fisherman, and he has accidentally sunk 2 boats.
What?
I'm just reporting what I read. How do you accidentally sink 2 boats? He's not a guy you want to go
maybe
fishing.
Maybe he caught too many
with.
fish, and they just
The weight of it.
Yeah, capsized. Golly's a great character. Him and Andrew Chafin, teammates Chafin in the bullpen, they spend time together living in an RV down by the river.
In a parking lot.
Isn't that great? Love these guys.
Classic. This is a bouncer to short. Two outs. That'll bring up John Jay. He struck out swinging his first time up. Here's our Rocket Mortgage breakdown. Check this out. The lowest hard hit rate allowed in the National League. It's a tie for second between the Rockies' Kyle Freeland and Tyler Anderson. So just a little more than 28% of the time do they allow a hard hit ball. What constitutes a hard hit ball? A ball off the bat at more than 95 miles an hour. There hasn't been one of those tonight. Maybe the base hit by Marte. That probably was above 95.
What's interesting looking at those numbers is that those 4 guys, Anibal Sanchez, Brent Suter, along with Tyler Anderson and Kyle Freeland, all pitch at the top of the zone.
This is line to Parra in left, and it's another quick inning for Kyle Freeland. Pitcher's duel right now. Freeland doing his thing. Zach Godley's been very good also. Kyle Freeland back-to-back 7-pitch innings. We focus in on Raimel Tapia. The Hail Yeah big hit is brought to you by Mako. And yesterday, there's no question, among many big hits, the largest was this grand slam of the pinch hit variety by Raimel Tapia. Just his 3rd career home run, his 1st of the year. That propelled the Rockies eventually to an 11-10 victory. Our Hail Yeah big hit brought to you by Mako. Blackman lined out to begin the ball game. He lined to Goldschmidt. The Rockies have not had a base runner yet against Godley. And that pitch is inside. So as we like to say, if you didn't have success the first time around, see how it turns out the second time around. Charlie 2 for 4 in a walk last night, scored 3 runs. He leads the National League in runs scored. And he's got a 2-0 count to work with. One ahead of Ozzie Albies. Nolan's 3rd. He drives himself in a lot. 3-0. Gerardo on deck. And that's called a strike right on the corner. 3-1.
Right on the edge of the Subaru strike zone. Charlie's not going to be too happy about it, but you also understand 3-0 count right on the edge.
And that is off the plate, ball 4. So the Rockies have their first base runner, a leadoff walk in the 4th. Fans, a reminder, when the Rockies score 7, as they did last night, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 in the afternoon to get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. Parra hit a comebacker his first time. This is the 12th game this year that he's batted in that 2 spot. And he's hitting .326 there.
Well, Gerardo had 2 big at-bats yesterday with walks. He never even swung the bat once. With the at-bat in the 7th inning. With 2 outs. First base open. Archie Bradley ends up walking Gerardo, and then he ended up walking Tony Wolters. And that led to the Tapia grand slam.
Good at bat by Tony. He's done that a couple times this year. He had a walk-off walk, in fact, earlier. There's a bunt, and this will move Blackman up. It's fielded by the 3rd baseman Owings. I was thinking that, you know, that may be in play. The way Godley's pitch, you have Freeland on the mound for the Rockies. He'll play for a run.
Well, it wasn't a straight sacrifice. Gerardo was trying to put it down in a spot, especially given how Godley finishes his pitches. He really falls towards the first base side. If you get a hit, you get a hit. You're ecstatic about it. If you move him over, it's great. Fine, I'll take my shot with Nolan.
Godley was about 115 to the plate there, if you're thinking about the running game later on, which is really quick. Only 6 guys have attempted stolen bases against him this year. 3 have been successful. Godley misses there, 1-0. Nolan 1 for 10 against Godley. I said it earlier, the Rockies are ready to counterpunch against Godley. He's had their number. Good speed at second. 2-0.
Well, the command so far for Godley in the 4th inning has not been quite what it was through the first 3 innings. Walking Charlie, falling behind Nolan now 2-0. And in those starts, he said how Godley has the Rockies' numbers. 4-0 with a 2.03 ERA. less than a 1 whip. Walks, hits, plus innings pitched.
Doesn't give in with a fastball. Not surprisingly, it's 2-1. Billy, you remember well, the pitcher will pitch one way first time through the lineup, and then they want to change up the pattern. And in sometimes doing that, you fall behind. You're almost a little less aggressive. Two one, 3-1.
For the Rockies in the last 6 games that they've won, they're 6-0, hitting .339 with runners in scoring position.
They're doing everything right. The 6-game winning streak for Colorado matches their longest of the year. The previous 6-gamer was in early May. They are now a season high 7 games above 500, 52-45. Outside, a walk now to Nolan. So 2 on, 1 out, and here comes Cargo.
That was much more pitch around than I think being wild. I don't think Zach, especially given the numbers that he has against Cargo, really wanted to mess with Nolan Arenado.
So Cargo, who was 2 for 5 last night, including an RBI and a run scored. Chance to give the Rockies a 4th inning lead. Two walks in the inning. Rockies looking for their first hit. And that's a swing and a miss, but the ball kicks away. So now a great opportunity for Cargo. This is a situation where if you get it in play, in all likelihood you get a run home. Wild pitch.
Well, you can tell Cargo does not pick up the baseball at all. He hits Zach Godley. This one lands. It skips off the plate. It's a changeup from Godley. And for Cargo, even though he doesn't see the ball well, he has been hitting well. Last 10 games, 378, 4 homers, 13 RBIs.
And if you go back even further, he's hitting .333 his last 41 games. Way inside, 1-1. This is one of those situational at bats in a pitcher's duel. Great opportunity for Colorado. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Now 1-2. Cargo did a good job with 2 strikes in at bat late in yesterday's game, not trying to do too much, and lined a ball to left field. Beat the shift, a low line drive. One and 2. This is blocked, and that's a heck of a block. It's good technique, but a lot of good fortune too, because where that ball bounced, it's very difficult on a catcher. You have to have some good luck. John Ryan Murphy kept it in front.
Normally you don't see a ball bounce that far in front of home plate, and typically here in Arizona in front of home plate it is pretty waterlogged.
Blackman at 3rd, Nolan at 2nd, 2-2. And he struck him out. Godley with a changeup gets Cargo, 2 outs. That'll bring up Trevor Story. Time for our Lowe's whole team together. 303 team batting average in July is first in the big leagues. Trevor Story's 412 average first in the big leagues. He's got some company with him. We're having large Julys, and the Rockies averaging 6.63 runs per game. Story hit a ground ball to short his first time. 2-out knock here would be huge. In there for a strike. Curveball, changeup.
He's got it all working. You could, just looking back at Cargo's the bat, he doesn't see it out of his hand.
No, it's pretty clear. When you see guys swinging at pitchers that are nowhere close, they clearly are not picking it up.
He asked for a 2-out knock from Trevor Story. He has 42 on the season, which leads Major League Baseball by 12. But he makes it 14.
That would be nice. One strike on Trevor. Godley last year had a 3.37 ERA. Now he's 11-6, which is a great one-loss record, but he has a 4.61 ERA this year. A lot of the damage against him happened in the month of May and early June. Giants got him for 7 runs and 3 1/3 in early June. Giants got him again in July for 7 runs. One and two. Curveball. The Rockies lead 2 in scoring position as Cargo and Story go down swinging. Sportsnet is brought to you by Subaru. Love is what makes a Subaru a Subaru. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get you 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Drew Goodman, Ryan Spilborg's upstairs. No score down on the field. And that's where we go to check in with Taylor after this first pitch to Marte inside ball one. Taylor?
Hey, thanks. Yeah, with a very special guest, Chris Hampson, Garrett's dad, who was in Albuquerque when Garrett got the call last night. So what was that moment like for you?
That was actually really surreal. We were, taken aback and surprised, and we kind of shifted into, getting there quickly, driving here from Albuquerque to Phoenix, and it was quite a shock, really. But we were so happy, so happy.
Garrett's been on quite the trek, playing at Long Beach State, and now here. When did it become a reality to you that your son one day would have the chance to be a big leaguer?
Wow, just such an experience for these guys. Every kid in America wants to be here on this field, and it's just been a great ride. We've loved the baseball experience from Little League on through high school, all through the minor leagues, and of course college at Long Beach State with a great program there. So we're just so happy that he's had this opportunity, and now he's living his dream. And I know that's cliche, but it really is for these kids. Starting at such a young age, and to be, to get as far as he has, it's just such a privilege, really.
So we can look at Garrett's numbers and see what he's done at the college level and professionally. What do you hope people know about Garrett?
I think the biggest surprise that most people will see with Garrett Hampson is that he is the most down-to-earth kid. He doesn't have a whole lot of ego. He's just a real good down-to-earth kid, and he just works really hard. He's all really about that just keep your head down and working hard, and he's done that really since he's a young age. Doesn't really always want to be out there and be in the limelight. He just wants to put his head down and work really hard, and I think that's kind of a unique, in today's world. So I just think he's as good a person as he is a baseball player.
So last question, what did you think of that heads-up athletic play we saw him make in the second inning, I believe?
Yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking. My heart was going 100 miles an hour, and he made that great play. But that's kind of what he does, and just so happy for him to do that.
Well, we're happy for you and happy for Garrett that he got the nod at the big league level. Thanks so much, Drew.
Well, you can see where the humility comes from.
Great quality.
Yep. That is a great quality that plays well in every industry, particularly a baseball clubhouse. 1-2 on Paul Goldschmidt. Buddy Black loves debuts. We love debuts. I'd love to hear from the parents, and it's a moment not only that the young man clearly will never forget, but it's a moment mom and dad, his brother Colton's here, they'll never forget, and all that was sacrificed, all the miles logged on the cars and plane tickets bought, etc., etc. And now he's in the best league in the world. On the corner, a little bit off. 2-2.
Well, even looking at what Hampson did in high school, he was an excellent point guard, and there was a time frame where Hampson almost hung up his cleats. He hurt his shoulder, had a rotator cuff injury, and was considering moving on from baseball. Think about that. And you always have, we talk about Troy Tulowitzki, very similar with the career paths, both going to Long Beach State, both excellent basketball players in high school.
And Freeland wanted that pitch, but it was a tad outside. 3-2.
Take a look where this pitch is. Basically same backdoor slider that he threw to strike out Goldschmidt in the first inning.
It was well received by Chris Ionati. Held it for Paul Nauert just outside. 3-2. Marte not going, and it's fouled off again.
When we think back to the play that Hampson made backhand through the infield, it reminds me of thinking back to what made Tulo unique as a basketball player. He never traveled. Got rid of the baseball. And that's the importance of playing these multi-sports when you're growing up, having that ability to transfer and translate being a point guard as being an infielder.
Ball 4, Goldschmidt takes that pitch. Freeland's upset. He's, visibly angered by 3 pitches he thought were strikes. Now the Subaru strike zone, they're all off the plate. Paul Nauert was very consistent. And now you have 2 on, nobody out. And you're in the middle of that lineup. A.J. Pollock has been their hottest hitter. Pollock's got a 13-game hitting streak going against Colorado. He's hit .415 during those 13. Kyle will try to get ground ball here. So a hit by pitch and a walk.
So where you have to rely on your defense, trust your stuff.
Freeland was doing a good job getting ahead the first 3 innings. Not so here in the 4th. Two and out. You put a good hitter in a great situation.
Well, even though those 2 pitches were balls inside, they are still very competitive pitches. You have a chance to throw a fastball right under A.J. Pollock's hands, which you could probably blow up his bat, create that double play opportunity. It's also important for Chris, and I like that he's coming out there trying to settle it.
What's interesting about this right now is you have Desmond and you originally had Arenado. Can't be a change of signs because your middle infielders would have been involved.
No, this was more settle down. His teammates realizing the situation, the walk to Goldschmidt, the way he reacted the first 2 pitches to AJ.
And now 3-0 on Pollock.
Just think back, the first 3 innings, Kyle Freeland only threw 4 balls. This inning alone, he's thrown 9.
Well, they haven't been wild misses. They've been near misses. And that's ball 4. Now you've created a large issue. Bases loaded, nobody out in a scoreless game. Been only 1 hit. That was in the first inning by Ketel Marte with 1 out. Line single left. Steve Foster will come out. Steven Souza is at the plate. This is a game that stands in considerable contrast to the game we witnessed last night. We kept saying, well, I don't think 5's the winning number. I don't think 6's the winning number. Ultimately, it was 11 that you had to have to win. Fortunately, the Rockies were the team with the 11. And tonight, you looked at that last opportunity by the Rockies. Cargo up with 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Get a ball in play there, and you probably get a run. That didn't happen. Story behind him also struck out. And an opportunity like that looms much larger when you have a guy pitching like Godley. And the same thing for Arizona, because Freeland, first 3 innings, was pretty much unhittable also. But now he's got 3 men on and nobody out with Souza at the plate. And that pitch may have been in, but it was called a strike. Souza chewing on Paul Nauert a little bit. Marte was hit by a pitch. He's now at third. Goldschmidt and Pollock both walked.
You can see the obvious frustration for Steven Souza, pointing at A.J. Pollock, saying those are the same pitches that you called the ball to him. And it always feels that way when you're hitting below 200. And for Steven, just trying to stay healthy and show his new teammates what he's capable of doing, quickly down in the hole with 2 strikes.
Oh, 2. Souza check swing foul ball. We'd love a strikeout here. If you're Kyle Freeland. Instead, a base hit up the middle. 1 run is scored. Goldschmidt will get a stop sign. And it's 1-0 Arizona on the base hit by Souza.
Quickly down 2 strikes. Kyle trying to put him away with the cutter. This pitch just stayed up. Souza's able to pull his hands in, get enough part of the barrel to shoot it back up the middle. Good job from Charlie, charging hard on, making a good stroke to Ian to prevent Paul Goldschmidt from scoring on a single.
Now Nick Ahmed. Still nobody out, and the bases remain loaded. This is blooped in foul ground, and Desmond makes a nice play. Here comes Goldschmidt trying to score, and safe. Creative slide by Goldschmidt. He eluded the tag, and it's 2-0. It's great base running, daring base running by Goldschmidt. Heads up play by Desmond. He knew that that was a possibility. Even though the ball was only about 150 feet, he's running with his back to home plate. He got rid of it in a hurry.
As Ian, former shortstop, quickly tries to fire it home. It's really not just based on where the throw is. A lot for Iannetta to do other than just dive straight back at Goldschmidt. For a guy that's 6'3". Very agile, athletic play by Paul.
You don't often write sacrifice fly to the first baseman.
No, you don't.
Pollock tagged also, so it's 1st and 3rd. Chris Owings at the plate. He hit that roller up the middle that Garrett Hampson made this splendid play on. And a line drive, base hit, 3-0. Now, this is the first time in quite a while that Kyle Freeland's given up 3 in a game. Freeland's last 6 starts, he's given up 2 or less. Last time he gave up more than 3 was against the Diamondbacks in Denver. He gave up 4 in 6 innings. Hampson came close, couldn't get it. Catcher John Ryan Murphy. That's why it was also good base running by Pollock to move up, because he would have had to freeze on that line drive. he would not have scored in all likelihood had he not moved up on that foul pop-up. One and one on Murphy. Marte hit by a pitch. Goldschmidt walked on a 3-2 pitch. Pollock walked on 4 pitches. All 3 of those guys have scored. Give Murphy, you have Godley on deck. Murphy's got pop in his bat. He's got 9 home runs. Look out.
That's one way to get the bat head out with a 2-1 pitch.
Two and two. This has been hard to imagine after the last 2 innings, 7 pitch innings for Kyle Freeland, but he's run into an issue here in the 4th, and now the Rockies have Almonte and Russin. Right field, pretty deep. Cargo makes the catch, runs into the fence. Tagging from second to third is Souza. Good play in deep right field by Carlos.
That's a great play by Cargo in right field, because for a ball hit from a right-hander that is hit over your right shoulder, your glove hand, and tracking baseballs in a dome is always difficult. It's harder to pick up against the roof. Especially when you start realizing that you're only a couple steps away from running into the chain link fence. That's a great play from Cargo.
First and third, Zach Godley at the plate. He hit a ground ball to short. And this is in the air to center field. Pretty well struck. Charlie was playing shallow naturally, makes the catch. In the inning, 3 runs on just 2 hits. Going to the 5th, 3-0 Arizona. Twitter. That's where you vote. We'll show you the results during the post-game show with Jenny and Corey. The temperature in Phoenix reached 108 today. How hot's too hot? 108. Denver was 95. It's never too hot for you. Or D, where is the snow? I think anything above 135 is just too hot.
108 degrees is a little silly.
Not bad. Dry heat.
I'm down with Denver's weather. I like 95.
Love Denver's weather. Don't tell people.
Denver's weather's awful.
There you go. Ian Desmond will lead things off for the Rockies. They're looking for their first hit. They had a couple base runners via walks in the 4th inning. Had him at second and third with one out. Couldn't produce a run. Desmond, Garrett Hampson in his big league debut will bat second, and then Chris Iannetta. 108 with no humidity, no problem. You know I like to run. I have no problem running in this. But if it's 100% humidity or whatever, 90+% humidity in Florida, Texas this time of year, that's tough. This ball's well hit to center field. Pollock going back, and it is off his glove. Desi around second. He'll end up at third with a triple. And that's the Rockies' first hit. You may recall Ian Desmond almost hit one out in his first at bat to right field. So Desi breaks it up here, leading off the 5th inning.
You have to love that start, especially given that Kyle Freeland pitched so well through the first 3 innings. Desmond off the bat. Good wood on a hanging curveball. A.J. Pollock almost making an unbelievable play.
'30th career triple for Desmond, and his 5th this year. So an opportunity for Garrett Hampson to get the Rockies on the board. He takes the curveball away, ball 1. Hampson was the picture of consistency in his minor league career. He has hit over 300 in each of his minor league stops. He's had an OPS well above 800 in all of his minor league stops. It's a fastball there, 1-1. He was in Boise just 2 years ago, midseason, postseason All-Star in the Northwest League. He's right out of Long Beach State, where he's a 3rd-round pick. Cal League, midseason, postseason All-Star last year, and 2 stops this year, Hartford and AAA Albuquerque. And this ball's hit to deep left field. Get over his head, get out, off the base of the wall. Desmond scores. Hampson into second. First career hit, a double. That a baby Garrett Hampson. And you saw a little bit of that pop in the bat. They can rejoice in the stands. 3-1. He was about 6 feet away from trotting around the bases.
Oh, what a great feeling. Your first major league at bat with an opportunity to drive in some runs. He got a hanging curveball, just looking to put the ball in play, understanding the situation. And almost got rewarded with his first major league homer. Check out the reaction from the family. Get up, get out! I'll take a double.
Grandma's up. Brother Colton. Outside, ball 1. That a boy, Garrett Hampson.
I just like the response from the Rockies offense.
They've done it all year, Spilly. We've remarked about it time after time. Last night they were down 3. They had a couple of deficits to overcome. Hampson with a good read, and there you see the speed. He stopped, started to go back to the bag, and as soon as Godley went underhand to first, he took off and moved to third. That's huge because now you don't need a hit to get him home.
Godley never looked towards second base. This is the importance of automatically just making sure you pay attention to where the baseball is. Continue to watch, keep your feet moving. Check it out. Golly never really looks towards second.
When he did, it was way too late.
It was too late.
Now Kyle with the infield in. See if they go squeeze. There's a strike at the bottom of the zone. Tell you what, Kyle walked off the mound, and you know how fiery he is. He was really upset. He felt like he got squeezed a little bit, especially in that Goldschmidt at bat. Can help his own cause here. Tell you what, if he bounces that curveball, it doesn't have to get super far away. Because Garrett Hampson can fly. And on top of that, he's not just a speedster. He runs the bases very intelligently. We saw that in March. One and two. Triple and a double for the Rockies in the inning. Their first two hits. And Freeland strikes out. 2 outs. That's the 5th strikeout for Godley. And Charlie Blackmon will come up. Charlie, a line out and a walk. Pulled foul.
Lefties came into today's game against Godley. The splits were 270 batting average, 5 home runs. Right-handers were hitting 261 with 7, but most of those home runs and the damage were done earlier in the season.
Charlie's been hot, hitting .404 his last dozen games. Inside, 1-1.
As hot as Kyle Freeland was last inning at Paul Nauert behind home plate for the strike zone, he's been consistent on both sides. It is a tight zone.
This ball is in the air to left field, pretty well hit, and it's over the head, and it'll bounce into the stands. Blackmon with a double to drive in the Rockies' second run as Hampson will get high fives. Rockies starting to figure out Zach Godley.
It's about time. He's been a Rubik's Cube for the Rockies offense. Godley going to the curveball away from Charlie, and this is something that he's been able to work on the last couple of years, is driving the ball opposite field.
46th RBI for Chuck.
What a boost. Ian Desmond, Garrett Hampson.
Wasn't sure off the bat because John Jay is a good outfielder.
Great outfielder.
So Hampson having an immediate impact on the Rockies. Kyle Freeland congratulating Hampson. So the meeting done. And the tying run in scoring position now for Gerardo Parra. Parra comebacker, and then he got a bunt down to move Blackmon in the 4th inning after the leadoff walk to second. Been bragging on him quite a bit the last 4 to 6 weeks. Runners in scoring position. He's been outstanding this year, has Gerardo. So he's got 41 RBIs. Last year he drove in 72. Was it 72 or 71? Drove in 70 plus. This year he's hitting .359 with runners in scoring position. .71. which is a career best. And 0-2. Saw a stat today, Spilly. We know, we laugh about it. There's a stat for everything, and there's stats for things you didn't know there were stats for.
A stat on top of a stat?
This one coming up is he leads baseball in pitches that are clearly out of the zone.
Okay.
Like not borderline balls that are, could be strikes. Pitches that are defined as completely out of the zone for a ball. So he gets a lot of people to chase. And, you said Paul Nauert's zone pretty compact tonight. It makes you further obligated, doesn't it, as an offensive player, to make sure, as you said early in the broadcast, Dwayne Espy told us before the game, we got to see him up.
See him up, force him to throw strikes. And even looking back at some of the StatCast numbers, some of the Subaru strike zone numbers, the pitches that Kyle Freeland wanted for strikes aren't strikes. It's tight.
It's that clear balls, clear that it's not in the strike zone. We'll try to get him to chase here. And this kicks away. Charlie will move up.
Last night, the Rockies handed the Diamondbacks about 2 runs with some wild pitches, some balls to the backstop. It's going to be a wild pitch from Zach Galli on the curveball. It bounces again well in front of home plate. But this takes away that curveball from Zach with 2 strikes. And you're going to have to force him to throw a pitch up. The pitch is up this inning. Garrett Hampson, double. Ian Desmond, double. Charlie Blackmon, double. All up.
Two. And that's the pitch you can't chase. That's a great job of being disciplined by the former Diamondback star, Gerardo Parra.
I love the tweet. It's not over yet. Starts belt high. There's late action to it. It's one of the better curveballs we've seen in the last couple of years at the major league level.
Got a high spin rate.
It is an excellent curveball. Maybe probably go right back to it.
They're celebrating their 20-year anniversary season this year, and they were playing a ton of highlights from some of their great players in the past. There were a number of great defensive plays shown on the screen before the game of Gerardo Parra. He won a couple Gold Gloves here. Ball 4.
Great at bat.
Great at bat. And that passes the baton to Nolan Arenado. Nolan a strikeout and a walk.
3 walks for Gerardo the last 2 games, and they've all been important. They've been quality at bats.
I just love, Spilly, and I know you do as well, how this team grinds and how they counterpunch. How many times this year have you seen them come back after a tough inning on defense to throw up a run or 2 in response?
Let's see if Nolan can figure out Zach.
Inside. He hadn't hit a home run in a while, so he's
due.
Obviously due. Got 1,001 OPS after last night's ball game. That leads the National League. I don't care where he does it. Poole throwing out in the seats and left. Great discipline now. The Rockies starting to figure Godley out a little bit. 2-0. Two and 1.
Back-to-back at bats for Nolan, where he was in a 2-0 count and Godley dropped the 2-0 curveball.
2-2. First and third, 2 runs in, they're 2 outs. Blackman at third, Parra at first. And he got him with a fastball off the plate. In the inning, the Rockies score a pair of runs, and in the middle of the rally, Garrett Hampson, his second major league at bat. He hits one off the middle of the left field wall to bring home Ian Desmond, and his family loving it. The Rockies get 2 back. Garrett Hampson a double, his first major league hit. Our AT&T achieving more. Rockies ERA before the break. Kyle Freeland third on that list. Of course, Ubaldo with that unbelievable season at a 2.20 in 2010. That's the top pre-All-Star break. And back in '93, the inaugural season, Armando Reynoso. This ball is going to go foul. Had a 303. 5th inning, leadoff man John Jay at the plate, a 1-1 count.
Third time through the lineup for Kyle Freeland. Hitters start hitting 303 against him. It's about mid to low 200s the first 2 times through the lineup.
He's handled Jay, struck him out, and got him to hit a little line drive that Parra grabbed in left field. Parra's playing where left fielders used to play against Juan Pierre, about 20 feet off the line and left and shallow. That's exactly where Jay hit it last time. 2-2.
The pitch we haven't seen much tonight of has been the changeup. That was one that I pointed out. Look, it's a 20% pitch for him now, and we've only seen 7 of them thrown.
This is fisted toward Parra, and he'll get it. Was he aligned perfectly again?
Perfectly. Coors Light presents Rooftop Live, a season-long concert series on the rooftop before select Saturday home games. Next up is Tyler Walker Band on July 14th at 5:30. Go to Rockies.com/rooftop for more information.
Ketel Marte a single and a walk. The walk led off last inning, and he ended up scoring. Behind him, Goldschmidt walked. Actually, Marte was hit by a pitch. Let me correct that. But Goldschmidt and Pollock walked behind him. All three of those guys scored. There's the changeup, and Freeland's upset with himself. Didn't finish it. 2-0. Marte 3 for 5, 4 runs batted in last night, a career best. He's been mashing at home, 360 over his last 23 ball games. And that is called a ball. I doubt Kyle and Paul Noward are going to break bread after the ball game.
The umpires and pitchers usually will make up later on. An umpire that's been in the league for a long time, they're not always too pleased when a player's demonstrative on the mound.
3-1, 3-2. One out, 3-2 on Marte. Cutter fouled off.
I need to correct myself.
Again?
It's next Saturday, yeah, for the concert series. It is SF1 on July 28th. That's next Saturday at 4:30 p.m.
You know what's going on tonight at Coors Field? Def Leppard and Journey. Ball 4.
Good chance Mark Stout's at that concert tonight.
Good chance? You kidding me?
In the front row with his hair feathered. And a handkerchief as a necktie. And a lot of bracelets.
It's going all 70s on you?
And rings. Lots of rings. Can't have enough rings tonight.
He's got the mullet going again, I bet, doesn't he?
Oh, it's feathered. I'm telling you, he's dolled up tonight.
Goldschmidt 0 for 1. He walked in the 4th on a 3-2 pitch. Cutter misses. Ball 1. A lot of near misses tonight for Freeland. You know, even despite last innings, Billy, because he was so efficient in the 2nd and the 3rd, his pitch count is fine. It's where you'd like it to be in the middle of the 5th inning.
You look at that 4th inning, that's a lot of high stress pitches from Steven Souza down through the last at bat against Zach Godley. And when you start getting that feeling in your gut, when you start getting frustrated at the strike zone, those are, again, high stresses.
Hit the outside corner there, 2-1. On the ground, past a diving Nolan. And Goldschmidt has his first hit this year at Chase Field against the Rockies. He was 0 for 13 with 6 walks and 9 strikeouts till that hit.
It's an amazing number, and it just sneaks past Nolan at third base, trying to rob Goldschmidt of a hit. We said it last night as we watched baseball being played at Chase Field throughout the rest of this summer. This infield will get faster and faster. And it is a fast infield, and there's no way for the grounds crew to grow the grass here. It's just, it's not possible with the roof.
It's like Carnoustie was playing on Thursday. 300-yard carry, and then it would run another 100 yards. A.J. Pollock, fly ball to right, and a walk. 2 on, 1 out. Look out, Tony Perez Chica.
And it's so scary for a third base coach, especially with the runner at second base, because they have to play, they have to stand closer to the batter. There's Chica outside of the coaching box, which still ranks as one of my overrated in baseball because they never stand in it. Get in the box.
Don't even put the chalk down. Charlie in center field will handle the second out. And that'll bring up Steven Souza Jr. He had an RBI single last inning. One of the oddities about last night's ball game, Arizona lost 11-10. They scored in 6 out of the 9 innings. Think about that. You score in 6 innings and don't win. And their 14 hits were the most hits they had in a loss in 2 years. 93 last year. The Rockies are right on their heels, just a half game behind them right now. And good news, Dodgers had a 2-0 lead. Milwaukee is now up 4-2. Kershaw started that game, line drive, and it's off the glove into shallow left field. It'll score a run. Nolan almost made the spectacular play, but Souza's now driven in another, and it's 4-2. Frustrating inning for Nolan. 2 near misses.
Well, for Souza, this ball's not hit hard, and it's almost would have been better if Nolan let the ball go past him, because it would have given Gerardo a much better opportunity to throw out Ketel Marte at home plate.
Nick Ahmed fouled out down the first base line his last time up, but it scored a run. This will get Kyle Freeland off the field. Another run, though, in the 5th inning. A 2-out single by Souza. The Rockies trail 4-2 as they come up in the 6th inning. Cargo will lead it off. Rockies baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Along with Ryan Spilborghs and Taylor McGregor, I'm Drew Goodman. 4-2, the Rockies trailing Cargo, Trevor Story, Ian Desmond, and beyond that, Garrett Hampson making his major league debut tonight. He's 1 for 2, an RBI double, and he scored a run. Zach Godley did not allow a hit until a leadoff triple by Ian Desmond in the 5th. Triple to dead center field. And Cargo continues to struggle against Hampson, and he lobs it. Wow! You talk about awful errors. That is one right there.
I don't think I've seen this one before.
He got the thing in the middle of the throw, evidently.
I don't know if there was dirt on the baseball just where it hit in front of home plate. But he had plenty of time to set his feet and make a throw. It was almost like chucking a pie.
See if the Rockies can take advantage.
That was strange. Bare hands it.
I'm always amazed. There's some
Stops the
pitchers
clock.
they just cannot throw the baseball to bases. You know, John Lester, we know he can't pick to first.
Look at that. You have a strange throwing error, and then you dot outside portion of the plate at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, he could do that all day, right? But he can't throw the ball 60 feet to his first baseman. And a base hit to right for Story. Cargo will go first to third. Story's got a 12-game hitting streak. And the Rockies now the tying run on, nobody out. Well, when a team gives you an extra out at any level, you got to take advantage.
Well, think about to last night with Adam Ottavino, the first batter of the 9th inning. The error, the Diamondbacks take advantage of it. There's a cutter away that just stayed up. Trevor's so good at using his hands, quiet with his leg kick, quiet with his head movement.
12-game hitting streak, the longest of Trevor's career. Last month and a half, he's hitting well over 400 out on the road, which is the best mark in baseball. Here's Desi. And Desi with a base hit to the right side. It's 4-3 as Cargo scores. Story turning on the gas, heading to third. Still nobody out.
Love it. Just love those at-bats. I love the at-bat from Ian Desmond. Not trying to do too much. I'm going to hit behind the base runner. Goldschmidt's holding on Trevor at first. There might be a chance that he might steal second base. It's a short, quiet swing.
And they're going to go visit with Godley as you watch Trevor going first to third. Desi gets a lot of hits in that direction. Desmond now with 38 ribbies against the National League West, Billy. That's 5 more than Nolan, who's second with ribbies inside the division. Pretty amazing. Time for the Coors Light refreshing finish. This is really refreshing. Second at bat for Garrett Hampson in his major league debut. Hits it off the left field wall to drive home. Ian Desmond get the Rockies on the board. Now he has a chance to get the Rockies even in the game. First and third, nobody out. And don't be surprised if Hampson pushed a bunt here. Big jump. Godley is just going to give up the base. Desmond takes off and swipes second. And now Story trying to rattle Godley. I don't think Godley's been right since he lofted that throw
We saw it
nowhere near the
earlier.
bag.
We saw it earlier with Garrett Hampson at second base. Desmond was just challenging him. Throw it to second. See what happens. That's amazing.
12 stolen bases for Desmond. He's a daring player and a cerebral player.
Well, that one bordered on crazy. I don't know if that's cerebral.
Yep, and there's that square around. He pulled the bunt back. Yeah, but he's in his mind. He's thinking,
I'm going to challenge, but it's still
how's he going to react?
It's still, that's a crazy move. First and third when you have an opportunity to score and tie this game up. I like it.
It's edgy, and sometimes it won't work. Remember, he had a delayed steal that didn't work out a couple weeks ago. He's still going to have that in his hip pocket.
The confidence of a burglar.
Yep. Second and third, nobody out. And Hampson's ahead in the count, 2-0. This is one of those guys in spring training, Spilly, that was on every bus ride. He played every day. Non-roster invitee, and he made quite an impression on the organization. And he made quite an impression on Buddy Black. 2-0. 3-0. Ionetta's on deck. Well, if he walks, you have the track team on base.
A lot of wheels. That's a good relay team.
Story at third, Desmond at second. Hampson with a 3-0 count. Ionetta's not part of the track team. He throws a shot put. He does field events only. Ball 4, and they're loaded up.
Good at bat. Not expanding when you have an opportunity to score some runs, pass the baton, and that's going to run Godley out.
Yep. Think about this. Godley had a no-hitter going into the 5th inning. And with nobody out in the 6th, Torey Luvello is going to pull the plug. Silvino Bracho, who was in the ball game last night, will come aboard when we return. Rockies within a run. All right, Jenny, thanks for the update. The update here in Phoenix, the Rockies were trailing 4-2 at the start of the inning, but they have a run in. It started with an error. Cargo hit a little comebacker, and Zach Godley through an errant throw, and since then, Story a base hit, Desmond a base hit, Hampson a walk. They're loaded up with a run in already, and here's Chris Iannetta, a Diamondback a year ago. Silvino Bracho got a couple outs in the middle of the game last night. Is out there now for the Diamondbacks.
Bracho, much like many of the Diamondbacks relievers, they use a changeup as their primary secondary pitch.
This kicks away, and here comes Story, and the Rockies have tied it up. A wild pitch from Bracho. We talked about the speed on the bases, the track team. Story did not hesitate.
It's the first leg. This is the first guy out the gate. As soon as that ball went in the dirt, the way it kicked off Murphy, spitting towards the Diamondbacks dugout, it's an easier read for a base runner because it's towards you. Oftentimes, if the ball kicks towards the Rockies dugout, it's harder to see. The catcher will block it. This one right in front of you, you get to see it. You understand there's no way John Ryan Murphy's going to throw you out at home plate.
Iannetta takes a slider away.
An interesting inning. A little case of the yips. You know it rhymes with yips, kind of? Yak. Three-run yacker right here.
Would be nice. 2-1. Desmond at third, Hampson at second, infield halfway, 4-4. Bracho's ground ball rate this year just 37%. 2-2. 3-2. Freeland is on deck.
Amazing part of that last pitch, he wanted it inside, but because it was such a miss, it landed in the strike zone of the Subaru strike zone.
Raimel Tapia with a helmet and a bat. Iannetta pops it up. Shallow left center field. Desmond not going to have an opportunity. It would have been interesting if going away, Nick Ahmed had made that catch. That is the first out. And Freeland will be called back, and Tapia, the hero from last night, looks out and says, first base is unoccupied. I like hitting with the bases loaded. Here's what he did last night. In a bat against Archie Bradley, initially fell behind 2 strikes, and then he whipped the barrel through. And he told me in the clubhouse this afternoon he knew he got it. And this morning got to talk to family back home in the Dominican. So Bracho will step out, and Luvello will match up with Andrew Chafin. Second and third, 1 out, 4-4 game.
pitching change in the top of the sixth. Raimel Tapia into pinch hit for Kyle Freeland, coming off of a great evening he had last night, first career grand slam. But what made that so special was the way his teammates made sure he enjoyed the moment.
I say to Carl when home play, you know, we do something crazy because Tapia is quite a guy, you know, and that's what we are starting jumping, going to the dugout and dancing. I'm trying to put in something different, you know, try to live the moment, and that's the big point right now.
That's what I love the most about the way the Rockies are playing baseball right now, is they're simply having fun, and it translates onto the field, Drew and Spilly.
They are having a lot of fun, and you know it's a good thing when you get a big bear hug at the end of the Congo line from Gerardo Parra. You've done something well.
Winning's fun. When you play good quality baseball, it is fun to come to the baseball field. It is fun to spend time with your teammates, and what make it even better is these RBIs in. Take a lead.
And Tapia chased in 1-1 against Chafin. Andrew Chafin in the ball game yesterday, a third of an inning. He got Blackman out. He walked a batter. It's his 48th appearance. He is their go-to lefty kind of in the middle of the game.
He's on one heck of a run. He hasn't been scored on in 16 of his last 17 appearances.
How many pitches has John Ryan Murphy had to attempt to block tonight?
And Godley, you can tell he's difficult to catch. That's a good curveball with a cutter.
It's one thing if you bury a slider or curveball, you know, right in front of the catcher, but some of Godley's were bouncing 4, 5, 6 feet in front of the plate. 2-1, and this is grabbed for a double play. Softly hit, Chafin grabbed it, and Desmond gets doubled off. But the Rockies get 2 to tie things at 4 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Another battle royale between the Rockies and Diamondbacks.
Returns to Coors Field on Sunday, August 26th with the post-game showing of The Sandlot. Buy the movie night ticket package to watch the movie from the field at Rockies.com/movie. Drew, we have a dinner date and a movie date.
And a movie date.
Put your PF Flyers on. A chance to see Squints and Yeah, Smalls, Lenny Peppercorn.
They did a piece on the actors recently. They're all retired now.
They are?
They're all in their late 60s, early 70s. Crickets from you. You didn't know where to go with that. Jake McGee is on for the Rockies in the bottom of the 6th inning. Chris Owings, John Ryan Murphy, and then a pinch hitter. So it'll be on the bullpens. Zach Godley's out of there. Kyle Freeland out of there after 5 innings of work. Freeland threw 77 pitches, 4 runs, 5 hits. He walked 3, struck out 3, did hit a batter. Owings 1 for 2. Outside, ball 1. We were talking last night about Brian Shaw. The fact that the Rockies in the second half clearly need, Brian Shaw to be Brian Shaw, guy who's been a dominant setup guy. Jake McGee has had a really fine career as a setup man, and he's had an uneven first half, and they need him to be himself in the second half. There's Mike Dunn out in the pen. Mike's currently on the DL. There's a strike. 2-1. Fastball at 94 there.
For the last 12 games for Jake McGee in ERA, and we always understand this with relievers, it's difficult. It's such a small sample size, and anytime they give up a couple runs here, they get dinged up. The ERA balloons, but it's still over a 10 in those 12 games. And I often point stuff out, as I do with Jake McGee. He's not a guy with a great secondary pitch. He relies heavily on his fastball and location, and his fastball velocity has been down.
He got him on a slider curveball. He has a lot of downward action on it. Clearly, that one looked a little bit more like a curveball, but it had the right effect. A big strike out of Owings.
Well, that's great action for him because it starts down. You've seen some loopier curveballs from Jake McGee. That one has great location, great depth.
And now John Ryan Murphy. He was robbed of extra bases on a terrific catch up against the wall, running into the wall to be more accurate by Cargo. That was in the 4th inning. Daniel Descalso apparently will be the pinch hitter. The only right-handed bat on Luvello's bench is Jeff Mathis. 2-0 again. There's Descalso. Jorge De La Rosa, since we're on the subject of former Rockies, he's in the bullpen. It looks like he'll be in the game next. Well, we remarked last night that it was a nice Friday night crowd, close to 30,000 here in the desert. And this is a terrific get-together, 43,340. Appreciating 2 teams hotly pursuing the playoffs again. 2 outs. There's a promotion going tonight also. Jake Lamb's bobblehead night. Torey Luvello said, I don't care if it's your bobblehead night or not, you're not playing. With Freeland started.
Probably going to see him taking a bat at some point tonight. Thomas Harding writes for MLB.com. Patrick Saunders, Denver Post, they throughout the game will have Lamb puns that are awful. They need a lot more seasoning with it.
Well, give us an example.
I just gave you one. Their lamb puns need more seasoning.
You know, that one, like so many things, flew over my head. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I feel like I'm fleecing you half the time I'm sitting up here.
I get that one.
Okay, good.
Doug,
All right.
Doug had just written something very similar. He just flat gave that to you, didn't he? 1-1 on Descalso, and he waves at a hard slider. I know the Rockies pitching coach Steve Foster, Darren Holmes, really kind of co-pitching coaches, Buddy Black. great career he had as a pitcher. They want him to utilize that pitch. It's one thing if you still throw in the upper 90s. Not saying Jake doesn't get there occasionally, but it's not like it was a few years ago where every time out, that's what it was. So he needs that pitch. There's Buddy. I wonder if fans here tonight for Jake Lamb bobblehead night are feeling fleeced because he's not playing. Patrick?
Yeah, there you go. I'm sure there's one from Thomas Harding in there at some point. We'd look for it. That one's bad.
They entertained themselves. 2-2, 3-2. That was 97, but not close.
Oh, he got him to flinch and didn't call it on the Subaru strike zone.
Once again, called Nauert. Thought it was off the plate and may have been.
Left fielder,
Look, it's a fair zone. It's been a fair zone all evening. Just off the plate.
So 2 outs, Descalso at first, and here's John Jay. There's 3 phones, so you know, in a dugout. There's one that goes to the press box. This is a line drive at Story. He's got it, and that ends the inning. There's one that goes to the bullpen naturally. There's also one that goes to the video room. And, you know, Buddy may have been asking Brian Jones, where was that pitch? Could have been him. Maybe it's something else. 4-4. We go to the 7th. Look back. Well, Garrett Hampson with a double. That followed a triple by Ian Desmond. The first 2 hits for the Rockies came in the 5th inning, believe it or not, against Zach Godley. Charlie Blackmon, opposite field double. The Rockies got within 3-2, and then they were down 4-2, and they put a nice rally together. Desmond with an RBI brought Cargo around. He had reached on an error, and then a wild pitch, and Story sprinted home. So we're tied at 4 as we go to the 7th. That's our Cooney Lexus look back. Drew Goodman, Ryan Spilborghs, Taylor McGregor, entire AT&T Sportsnet crew. Middle game of a 3-game set. The Rockies with an 11-10 victory last night. They're 6th in a row. They're looking to make it 7 straight. They've won 14 out of 17. And they have the top of the lineup to face Jorge De La Rosa. De La Rosa, a 1-2-3 9th last night, including 2 strikeouts. One of the strikeouts came against Chuck. Here's an interesting note for you, Spilly, because you're sitting here and I'm conversing with you.
Okay.
All right. The bullpen for the Arizona Diamondbacks, one of the reasons they're 8 games above 500. They've been fabulous all year, except when they face the Rockies. The Rockies have hit their bullpen to the tune of a 6.18 ERA. Everybody else, they have fashioned a 2.53 ERA against. Interesting number. 1 out, and that'll bring up Gerardo. Parra is officially 0 for 1. He had a sac bunt in the 4th, and he walked in the 5th.
I think part of the numbers when you start looking at those bullpen stats is the Rockies are familiar with them. They've seen them from spring training to the last couple of years. There's a lot of veteran relievers out of that bullpen. There's not a lot of tricks left up any of the team's sleeve. I mean, this is what I am. This is what you are. Let's match up and let's see who wins.
Well, I'll put you back in the clubhouse. You're preparing this weekend when you were playing for Arizona, and to your point, you know all the guys coming out of the bullpen. So you're not really watching video, are you? Now, in a couple of days, you're going to face a Houston team you're less familiar with, so you're probably watching more video, correct?
You're watching a ton more video, and you're asking for more scouting reports than you're probably accustomed to.
2 balls and a strike on Gerardo Parra. Well, this game, like so many, is going to come down to the bullpens again.
And it's fitting, especially given how good these two teams have been playing against each other, that it does come down to 2 bullpens and one in the Colorado Rockies that have really seen the tides turn over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, they've been much better. They hit that rough patch. They went for a few weeks, and they've righted the ship, though they know they can still pitch better. There were some rough spots last night. Rockies playing game number 98 this evening. That man has a steady hand. Look out, 3-2.
De La Rosa just gets on the side of a fastball. That's a lot closer to Gerardo Parra's head than he'd want any pitch. And that's a couple inches away.
3-2. Ball 4. So Parra, a guy who it was impossible to walk 2 years ago in his first season with the Rockies, now has the most discerning of eyes. He's walked 4 times, Spilly, in the last 24 hours.
It's been a great spot. Very quiet with his head movement. And again, an opportunity to, when you're looking at the strike zone from tonight, Paul Nauert has been extremely fair on both sides. He's not given the edges.
Torey Lovullo is going to go Bruce Bochy, and he's just going to keep matching up in a 4-4 game. Nolan coming up, new pitcher coming in, 1 out, 1 on.
out, tied up at 4. The first 15,000 through the gates for the Rockies. A's game next Friday will receive a 25th anniversary season Fire Up the Fountains t-shirt, courtesy of AT&T Sportsnet.
Well, the new pitcher, Spilly, will be your old teammate, Yoshi Hirano.
There's a conversation between Torey Lovello and Paul Nauert, trying to understand some of the nuances of having an interpreter at the mound, if those count as mound visits. Same thing. Bud Black asking if that counted as a mound visit.
So Parra at first, Nolan at the plate. Hirano has held righties to a 209 average. You see that De La has struggled against righties, so the move clearly makes sense. Hirano, a 169 earned run average his last 31 appearances. In fact, he's given up only 1 earned run his last 15 appearances at Chase Field. Nolan 0 for 2 and a walk. Takes a strike on the outer edge. Pitch was a better pitch, I think, than the first one, but it's called a ball. 1-1.
You see where the location is, and it's because it misses the spot by so much.
Well, it misses where he's set up.
Misses where he's set up.
Yeah. And there's Murphy scrambling again.
For Hirano, it is simply it's a 2-pitch mix. It's fastball, split finger. 200 batting average against the split finger this season. 221 batting average against the fastball. Bottom just drops out of the pitch for Hirano. There's that split finger.
Yeah. Splitter and a fastball count.
What makes this pitch so effective is the hand speed. Looks just like the fastball. Good downward sinking motion. For a split finger, you really just put the baseball in between your fingers, webbing. Doesn't spin quite as much. Gets some downward action.
And this ball hit high in the air, deep left center field. Pollock on the edge of the track makes the catch. I thought for a moment he got enough of it to hit it out.
Nolan squares this one up, and you can see the reaction for Nolan. He knows he missed it. Just got underneath it. Well, he had a mistake from Hirano.
He wasn't sure. He got it on the barrel. Just got under it a little bit. 2 outs, Cargo at the plate. 0 for 3. Did reach on a costly error to begin the 6th inning. Comebacker, and Godley didn't throw it accurately to first. Cargo would come around to score, as would Story, who singled behind him. Dodgers lost tonight in Milwaukee. Clayton Kershaw took the loss. Went 6 innings, gave up 4 runs, only 1 of which was earned. They began the day a game and a half in front of Arizona and 2 games up on the Rockies. Giants 4 back in the division. Oakland's leading San Francisco 2-1 at the Coliseum tonight. One and one. Four runs, 5 hits for the Rockies, 4 runs, 5 hits for Arizona. The Diamondbacks have made the only error in the game. Cargo drives this ball to right center field. It is going to drop. Parra is going to come on home. Cargo into second. The Rockies take a 5-4 lead.
Wow, this is a strange play because you have Gerardo Parra running on the pitch. Ball lands right in front of A.J. Pollock as he's diving for it, and he cannot get the ball out of his glove. Stu Cole watching it the entire way. He just continues to wave Gerardo home. Let's see how the ball gets stuck. Gets lodged underneath him. That's a ball that you should never be able to score on. And because of the way the ball kicked off underneath A.J. Pollock.
Once he laid out, Stu Cole did not hesitate. And the Rockies are up 5-4, their first lead of the night. And here's Story, who extended his hitting streak to 12 games with a line single to right last inning.
Cargo hits this ball off the end of the bat. It reminds me so much of the ball that Charlie Blackmon caught last night. And that was the mistake from A.J. Pollock. You see, he was feeling for it, not looking down at the baseball, looking up to see where the base runner was. And that small mistake gave the Rockies enough to get that extra 90 feet.
I've heard you describe it so many times in the past, Billy. You have a guy with a big swing, and the ball off the end of the bat, trajectory-wise, at first, you may take a false step, right?
Take a false step because you're seeing the big swing. You also hear the sound of the bat. You try so hard to listen. That's such a cue.
Because even from our vantage point, off the bat, you thought that was ripped in the gap, and then you realize it was more toward the end.
Off the end of the bat.
2-0 on Story against Toronto. 3-0. Let's watch this ride from Pollock. Well, it's the end of it.
Well, that's a good example of why you look down at the baseball. He's feeling for it, and that cost the Diamondbacks a run.
Well, Cargo did a great thing. After he hit it, he threw some Vaseline on the baseball, and it was impossible to pick up. So now Story goes down to first, and Desmond comes up. So once they were behind Story, they didn't even want to mess with him. An intentional walk. Desi a triple and a single and a deep fly ball to right. He's 2 for 3, looking to do some more damage. 2-out style. And a shot that is grabbed by Ahmed. That's a pretty darn good play by Nick Ahmed. Otherwise, that is in a left center field. It's going to score at least one more. Rockies have taken the lead on the Cargo double, 5-4. Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by the Colorado Lottery. Play Golden Ticket Scratch from the Colorado Lottery to win up to $250,000 instantly. This is a photo tonight from Coors Field and the show going on. Def Leppard in front of Journey. And I think, as we said, Mark Stad has confirmed that he is in the house tonight.
Front row.
My guess is he's on the field, yes.
Get off the infield. So Mark Rasmussen's probably thinking, get off the infield.
Get
please.
off my field.
Just get off the field.
So Scott Oberg with the Rockies ahead 5-4 will take over in the 7th. He'll see 2, 3, and 4 in the Diamondbacks lineup. That's Marte, Goldschmidt, and Pollock. Marte's been on 3 times. He was on a bunch last night. Slider on the edge, strike 1.
Oberg got the win last night. 5-0 from that relief role.
Went off speed twice. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that's way outside. Well, here's good news. Wade Davis, who was sick back at the hotel yesterday, is at the ballpark and available to pitch the 9th inning. Ground ball right back to Oberg. 1 out. It's a good guy to get because he's been a tough out. He was on base 3 times last night and drove in 4, and tonight he's been on 3 times. So Marte is finally retired. That'll bring up Goldschmidt. A single in his last at bat, his first base hit against the Rockies at Chase Field this year. Coors Field's been a different story. He's got 12 hits and 23 at bats there, including several out of the ballpark. Gets challenged by a fastball at 96, fouled it back. Fastball high and away, ball and a strike. And inexplicably, in this great hitting environment, Goldschmidt's hitting just .237 at home.
Oberg's coming right after Goldschmidt with fastballs, and the Rockies, in the 2 days that we've seen them, how they've attacked Paul Goldschmidt, they've tried to go underneath his hands, and fastballs elevated above the belt.
He sees the ball away really well. Rockies do shift. 1-2. There's the slider. And again, we've seen him so many times, Spilly, and for a power hitter, it's a pitch he does not chase typically. 2-2. They go out there again. Fastball. See you later. Goldschmidt knew it. He just got locked up at 98. 2 outs in the 7th.
That's 5 strikeouts now for Paul Goldschmidt over the last 2 days, and we just see the Rockies swimming in there. He's guessing. You can tell just by the take. Fastball, 2 strikes right down the middle.
You can see on the grip, man, that's a straight 4-seam heater. As George Frazier used to say, hit it if you can. A.J. Pollock. Sliders down. Ball and a strike. Is that off? Paul Noward obviously told him it was. He was asking, was that off the plate? You can see on the Subaru strike zone it was. Hitters always wanted to find that zone.
Yeah, Well, it's an opinion. That's the strike zone. It's an opinion of the man behind the plate.
1-1, 2-1. How about the All-Star game, Spilly? We talked a little bit about it yesterday, all the home runs, which was awesome. I know some people say, oh, it's a picture of the modern game, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of home runs. It was entertaining. That's the bottom line. But every guy that strutted out to the mound, virtually every guy was throwing 100. Got the phones going.
Rally phones.
2-1. No swing. 3-1. That's Ramon de Jesus at first.
And the lights go down in the city.
Yeah. Very nice. And so appropriate tonight, right?
Mm-hmm. Stout song.
Ball 4. So with 2 outs, Pollock to first, and that'll bring up Steven Souza Jr.
Houston Astros make a rare Coors Field appearance for 2 games, July 24th and 25th. So get your tickets now at Rockies.com.
And it looks like the Rockies, there's no soft side to that rotation, but it looks like you're going to see Garrett Cole and Charlie Morton.
Trevor hit a homer off Charlie Morton.
Turned around 98.
Astros tacos in Anaheim, 7-0.
Strike, 0-1. Rockies will have Garrett Hampson to lead off in the 8th inning. 5-4 Colorado. Down 3-0 going to the 5th without a hit. And now they lead. Just missed at the top of the zone, 1-1. Souza's done damage tonight, 2 for 3, 2 RBI singles. Missed a lot of time early in the season. He has just 8 RBIs. Big shoes to fill, taking the outfield spot that was occupied the final couple of months a year ago by JD Martinez, who has not stopped hitting since he came to Chase Field. Now he's doing it at Fenway Park.
Some of the people in the Diamondbacks organization have argued, even with JD Martinez, the team didn't play that much better. And I tend to disagree with them. That bat in the middle of the lineup changed their lineup.
Line drive toward Cargo. He's got to field it on a hop. Pollock will go first to third. Now the tying run, 90 feet away with Ahmed coming up.
That's why you're always worried about 2-out walks. They always seem to bite you late in games. Here's a fastball that just stays out over the middle of the plate. 3 singles now for Steven Souza tonight.
Nick Ahmed this evening is 0 for 2 and a sac fly. Oberg's had his number. Got to get one more out. Line drive, right center field. Here comes Charlie, can't get it. Ties up the game, Souza to third. Walk, base hit, and it's 5-5.
That walk looks back to hurt Scott Oberg. First pitch swinging for a former teammate of Oberg back at the University of Connecticut. Pitch swing, ball up in the zone, off the end of the bat again. A lot of hard hit baseballs tonight. super mode. Charlie hoping to make another catch like he did last night. This one falls well short of him.
Chris Owings now against Oberg. Blocked by Ionetta. Remember Rock'em Sock'em Robots?
Yeah, that's what this is.
That's what this series has become between the Rockies and Diamondbacks. I don't just mean these couple of games. Just go back year in and year out. Back off of Oberg. Can he still get a play at first? Yes. Without his glove, he gets the third out and prevents the go-ahead run from scoring. That's one heck of a play. That was a rocket hit back at him by Owings. The Diamondbacks with 2 outs tie the game at 5. Look at this play. And then would give up a 2-out walk, 2 singles followed, and Owings nearly gave the Diamondbacks the lead. Enough leather to slow it down. Songs the glove. Oberg gets the out at first.
You get in a bit of protection mode. Trying to protect your face from getting hit by a line drive and then find it and get the out mode.
Yoshi Hirano still out there. Garrett Hampson will lead things off in his major league debut, an RBI double, a walk in his last at bat, 1 for 2. And he takes outside. Boy, it would be awesome to see his speed reach here in a 5-5 game in the top of the 8th. He's the 6th Rocky this year to make his major league debut. 1-1. The previous 5, Harrison Musgrave, Jerry Vasto, Sam Howard, Noel Cuevas, who's still up, and Yency Almonte, who's still up. Two and one. One of the many things that impressed Buddy Black during March and spring training was Hampson's ability, and granted, I know it's spring training, to get hits late in games in clutch situations. It really stood out to Buddy. 2-2. Now you're in a splitter count.
These are at bats as a young player trying to figure out the league, is slowing things down, not trying to do too much. You hear that cliche so often, but it's so important.
There's the splitter, and it's a called strike 3.
We'll be at bat as your #1 Rockies app. Get Rockies home screen icons and features such as the game of the day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat app today.
1 out, Ionette at the plate. Chris 0 for 3. Noel Cuevas is in the on-deck circle. We're talking about exploits around baseball. How about Matt Carpenter? Hit another home run today. He had 3 yesterday and 2 doubles. He's now homered in 6 straight games. The major league record is 8. Ooh, got a hanger. 2 outs. Dale Long, Ken Griffey Jr., and the manager for the Miami Marlins all have hit home runs in 8 straight in their careers. Don Mattingly, of course. So now Cuevas is called back, and it'll be Tommy Murphy. Matt Carpenter has not hit a single, Spilly, in 11 days. He's 12 for his last 25, 8 homers, 4 doubles. That's pretty good.
He's the guy I'm touching. Trying to take some of that and say, can I have some, please?
Right.
Oh.
Murphy drives one deep left field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. And the Rockies have the lead again. First of the year. Some daddy power from Tom Murphy.
Well, Bud Black played the right card right here. Pulling back Noel Cuevas for Murphy, who has more pop. Oh, that has to feel so good. First pitch swinging, see you later.
Daddy pop.
I don't know how much more pop Tom Murphy can possibly get, but he'll take that extra daddy pop.
Fouled off by Charlie. 6-5 Colorado.
And straight Matt Carpenter on him.
Yeah, he did. That splitter's vicious, isn't it? 2 strikes. So think about it. You go back to last Sunday, Spilly, right before the All-Star break. You get the late inning bomb, the walk-off bomb from Trevor. You go back to Saturday, Cuevas hit a late inning home run against Seattle. Tapia last night, and now Murphy. That's strike 3. But the Rockies have the lead again. Tom Murphy stepped to the box. First pitch he saw, swatted it out of the ballpark. My job's done. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Colorado up a run in Arizona. Rockies lead it 6-5. And now Adam Ottavino is out there, and he'll face another Murphy who catches, John Ryan Murphy. Bottom of the 8th inning. Otto got the save last night, back in his customary setup role tonight. He misses with that fastball. You get John Ryan Murphy, and then it's David Peralta on deck. 2-0.
Buddy's going to push Ottavino. This is a game on the plus side for the Rockies. You want and have to win a game like this, especially when you consider how they fought through it. And you're pushing Otto a little bit. An inning and a third last night, but it's also coming off in an all-star break.
And he falls behind 3-0. It's been a bit of an issue tonight. Kyle Freeland ended up walking 3 and hitting a batter. So near misses for Kyle. McGee walked a guy. Oberg walked a guy.
And if you look at how the Diamondbacks have scored, those are all the runs. All the runs scored by the Diamondbacks tonight have come via walk or hit by pitch.
That's right. Every single one of them. Good pitch. Try to hit that sinker. That was like Kevin Brown's sinker, man.
I remember watching Kevin Brown when he was with the Dodgers. You could hear the seams anywhere you were standing in the stadium, Dodger Stadium.
(3-2). Got him with a slider. Came all the way back. Ottavino strikes out John Ryan Murphy. 1 out in the 8th.
You just gotta love the ability for Ottavino to settle himself down, make 3 quality pitches when you have no margin for error. There's no margin here. You don't want to walk the leadoff batter in the 8th inning after he just scored.
David Peralta had a 4-hit game yesterday, but against Freeland did not get the start tonight. He takes a slider away. Otto's fastball a strike, 1-1. Peralta, career .309 hitter at Chase Field. And he's done a ton of damage this year against Colorado. He's behind now, 1-2.
Peralta's a good player. He's turned himself into a fantastic everyday outfielder. Think about his ability to play defense. He runs well, throws extremely well, being a former pitcher.
He's also one of the leaders in that clubhouse. 1-2. Iannetta wants a fastball. He pulled that one, and it's 2-2.
And the stats that Peralta has this season against the Rockies in 8 games: 486 batting average, 2 homers, 9 RBIs, 9 runs.
Two and 2. Got him with high heat. 2 outs in the 8th inning.
Left fielder, John.
Ottavino threw a fastball in that was fouled off. Then he goes up and away where Iannetta wanted it. Good tailing action with the 2-seam. That's not a 4-seam fastball. 93 miles an hour with late life, up in the zone.
John Jay 0 for 4 tonight. And he's tardy on that swing. It's 0-1.
If you remember back to last night, it was a high 2-seam fastball called for strike 3 on John Jay to end the game. That's one of the rare changeups you'll see Ottavino throw.
Every once in a while. Oh, 2. How did he not swing at that? Rockies ahead 6-5 on a Tommy Murphy home run, his first since late in 2016. Sharply hit, diving stop, Hampson. What a ball game this kid's played, huh?
Oh my.
What a game for Hampson. Yeah, he can play on that side of the ball also. This is a hit all the way, right? No. Sorry. Jenny and the Sullivans cover band doing a little Journey.
Do some karaoke with them. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Garrett Hampson, you want to talk about making a major league debut? He had a great play earlier in the game. That was even better. Ian Desmond giving him the respect nod. Buddy Black.
Tell you what, you get instant credibility in that clubhouse because the guys saw how you're able to run bases, how you're able to come through with the situation, knowing the situation, defense.
Brad Boxberger gets Parra to roll the second one out.
It usually takes some time for teammates to see what kind of athlete, what kind of game you have. And Hampson's shown it all. Shown all facets of his game in one evening.
This is what good organizations have. Good organizations can have a star player like a DJ LeMahieu go down and replace them with a very capable player. You have to have organizational depth. Rockies trying to win their first division crown. Long, long road in front of them, but they believe. And so far, this kid stepped in and done a really nice job in his opening statement. Tommy Murphy. Hopefully he can get that baseball later on for his newborn Jace. 0-1 off the plate, 1-1. Brad Boxberger, the closer for Arizona.
Well, you'll see managers try to make sure you do not want to let the Rockies score another run right here. Good changeup for Boxberger. It's his best secondary pitch we mentioned earlier. The Diamondbacks have built a bullpen around fastball command and changeups.
Yeah, he's not a blow you away guy with the fastball like so many closers are. 2-1 on Nolan. 0 for 3 and a walk. Just missed hitting one out his last time up. Peralta's now in left for Jay. Here's the off-speed pitch. It tied up Nolan. 2-2. Quick update, by the way, on DJ LeMahieu. Talked to him this afternoon in the clubhouse. They think it's a mild oblique strain. Keith Duggar said you keep him really quiet for a while. This is fouled off. And they hope it's not too lengthy. Obliques are tricky.
Pulled my oblique back in 2008. And even when I thought it was healthy, I was playing catch with Scott Mariyama during my rehab at Coors Field, and I felt like I could throw it a little bit farther.
Grabbed on you, didn't it?
Grabbed on me, had a setback. Cost me an extra week. Even when you think you feel good, wait longer.
That's been a tough year for DJ. This guy's been an Iron Man. Never seen the disabled list before, never missed a game in the minor leagues at LSU. He's been on the DL now 3 times. This ball sharply hit, but the shortstop, Ahmed, is there. 2 outs. 2 gone. That'll bring up Cargo. Who Wants Tacos fans, follow us at AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Taco Special when the Rockies do score 7 or more in a game. They've been averaging better than 6.5 in the month of July. Cargo drove in a run with a double in the 7th inning to give the Rockies a 5-4 lead. Arizona evened it up with 2 outs against Scott Oberg in the bottom of the 7th. The Rockies got a 2-out pinch hit home run from Tommy Murphy last inning. And Cargo pops this one up to Peralta in left. When we come back, Wade Davis will try to get the final 3 outs. Performance, a comparison of the 2 starters. It started very well for Zach Godley. He didn't give up a hit until the 5th inning. He ends up giving up 4 runs, 3 earned in 5. Kyle Freeland with some near misses tonight. And it's the first time in quite a while he's given up more than 2 runs in a game. He gives up 4 tonight in 5 innings. It's been on the bullpens. And right now the Rockies will carry a 6-5 lead to the bottom of the 9th inning. Wade Davis, who was sick and back at the hotel yesterday, has made a solid enough recovery that he's going to try to close it out. And you don't face three guys named Schmo in the ninth inning in baseball.
No, you're going to go through the teeth of the Diamondbacks lineup. Ketel Marte, Paul Goldschmidt, A.J. Pollock. For me, it's... I don't want to see walks. Those have been the runs for the Diamondbacks tonight. Force this team to string together some at-bats.
So Wade Davis looking for his 28th save of the year. Marte will lead it off. He is 1 for 2 and 2 walks. And both times, excuse me, 1 for 2, a hit batter and a walk. Can't read my own hieroglyphics. And he scored in the 4th when he was hit, and he scored in the 5th when he walked with 1 out. Here we go. Curveball, strike 1.
Last day of work for Wade Davis was on the 14th against the Seattle Mariners. It's been a while.
Fisted pass to diving Nolan, and a leadoff single for Marte.
Davis gets Marte beat. It's a curveball, it's up. He's just able to punch it past Nolan.
Now Goldschmidt.
And you know Marte at some point, if the ball's in the dirt, will steal second base, even with Paul Goldschmidt hitting.
First pitch strike, fastball on the inside corner at 94. It's 0-1. Got to bring it down though.
Pitches are up, and I think just like other Rockies relievers that we've seen, when you get off of the break, you feel good, and trying to get into the swing of it. It's been over a week since the last time Davis pitched in a major league game.
That's a swing. 0-2. See you later. Strike 3 all over the inside corner. 1 gone in the 9th. He missed by 1.5 feet with his location, but there's no question it had the inside corner.
That's a 3rd time tonight the Rockies have a strikeout looking at Paul Goldschmidt. It's a strike.
Good hands by Chris Iannetta also.
Just the way he turned over the glove.
Now it's Pollock with 1 out. Marte, a conservative lead at first. Fastball fouled off. Pollock tonight's 0 for 2. He's walked twice, and as Spilly has documented, every guy that's gotten a freebie has scored tonight. So he has 2 runs scored. One ball, 1 strike. Davis, the one-time Tampa Bay Ray, a world champion with the Royals, an elite closer a year ago for the Cubs, now in purple pinstripes, or at least tonight the purple and gray. Slider, ground ball, could be two. There's one, and Hampson will not throw. So there's 2 outs. Pollock runs well. Probably wasn't hit quite hard enough the way AJ runs. So there's 2 outs. And the guy that has been the hitting star tonight, Steven Souza, coming up.
This is one you'd love to see turn, but it's a difficult turn. We're so accustomed to seeing DJ and Trevor.
He didn't get it out of the glove, I don't think.
It's just a transfer. Hampson unable to make the transfer, complete the play. You can look at that sometimes as an extra out given to the Diamondbacks.
Off the glove of Iannetta, and Pollock thought about it and thankfully did not attempt to go. I think if he goes, he's going to get there. That's ball is just backed up.
Yep, AJ trying to see the baseball, and that happens. It's what we said earlier, especially when it goes behind a hitter. It's hard to pick up the baseball. You don't know how far it kicked away.
1-1.
Davis and Souza have matched up before. Only twice. Davis winning both times.
Here's the 1-1. High heat, 1-2. Wade looks like he's got a lot of carry on that fastball through the zone.
There's a lot of life to it. 95 miles an hour, and it's up.
Here we go. 1-2 with 2 outs. 2-2.
The last strike of the game, always so hard, so intense, and it 1-1 in a game decided by 1.
2-2, and now Souza calls time.
As a player, you're running through every scenario that could be. Ball's hit to your right, ball hit to your left. Infielders are thinking of all the different directions that they're going to go with if the ball's hit to them.
2 balls, 2 strikes. How did he not offer it that? That was a strike all the way to the late cut off the plate. This is really well executed, this slider.
It really is. It's just off the plate. Steven Souza seeing the ball well tonight. 3 singles. And now you're going to have some action. AJ Pollock will be running on this. 3-2, 2 outs, the way you dream it up in the backyard.
I like the call. He wants the 3-2 curveball. Ball 4. Now Nick Ahmed. Never easy, is it?
Never is.
I think if he drops that in the zone, he's going to lock up Souza, though. Ahmed's driven in 2 tonight. A shallow sac fly caught by Ian Desmond in foul territory, moving away from the infield. That's why the runner was able to tag. It was Goldschmidt and score, and he had a single in the 7th to drive in a run. 1-0. Popped out of play.
Final 3 outs of the Major League game, the toughest to get. I don't care what anybody says, talking to closers. Not all outs are created equal.
No, they're not. The focus is more acute in the 9th inning. It's just natural. 1-1, swung on and missed. 1-2. So Davis in the same spot he was in a moment ago with Souza, and he could never finish Souza. Now he's got a chance here against Ahmed.
There's some life to Wade Davis's fastball tonight. Some carry to it. That one had a little late sink.
Here we go again. 1-2. Ground ball foul.
Nick Ahmed was not fooled by that curveball.
Six, 5, Colorado, 2 outs in the 9th, the 1-2. Strike 3, ball game over. As it ended last night, a called 3rd strike, and the Rockies roll on. For Colorado, their 7th straight victory, a season high, and they move 8 games above 500. They leapfrog Arizona into 2nd place in the NL West, just a game behind the Dodgers, who lost earlier in Milwaukee. Look again at the final pitch.
Front door cutter. Front door cutter got him. Locked him up.
Perfectly received by Chris Iannetta. Scott Oberg ends up with a victory. He's unbeaten at 6-0. Hirano takes the loss. Save number 28 for Davis. The Rockies also assure themselves of winning another series. That's 6 in a row, all against teams above 500. The Rockies are rolling, and we roll to Denver in the Toyota postgame show. Here's Jenny and Corey.